Welcome back. So far you've learned a lot about confidence. You've learned all myths and mental traps that were keeping you from becoming confident. You've learned the emotion triangle and the real reason behind all your emotions and your fears. And you've learned the pillars of confidence. Learning all of these things are essential, but is it enough just to learn? Do you believe that you can become confident just by learning these things? Well, honestly, I used to believe that, yes, you can master anything and you can become confident and competent at doing anything just by learning. But then I realized and learned that mastery is a process and has 3 different stages. And learning is just the beginning stage. So you cannot become confident and competent and you cannot master anything just by learning. You need to move through all these 3 stages. In psychology, they call these stages the stages of competence. Let me tell you a story so that you can better understand these stages and their effects on your confidence level. Do you remember the day that you wanted to drive a car for the first time? I remember that day clearly. It was Saturday and I woke up very early in the morning. It was about 11 o'clock. I mean, it was early for me because back at those days I used to sleep until 1 o'clock and sometimes 2 o'clock. So waking up at 11 o'clock was far early for me. I remember that I smiled and I closed my eyes again and I started dreaming about the luxury cars that I'm going to drive and the beautiful girls that I'm going to pick up with those cars. Well, we didn't have a car, we were poor, but I was just dreaming. I was so excited because I was finally going to drive a car by myself. Well, my driving class was at 3 p.m. and it was about 1 hour away from our home. So I woke up, I ate something and I decided to walk to the class. On the way, I was looking at the cars and again I was dreaming about driving those cars by myself. After about 1 hour, I arrived and I was so excited and happy until I got in the car and my driving coach ruined all those excitements and happiness. After greetings, he told me, "Hey son, this is your first and most important lesson. If you want to be a good driver, you need to control everything." And I asked, "Everything?" And he replied, "Yes, everything." I was totally confused because there were a lot of things that I needed to control. There were 3 pedals, 3 mirrors, gear stick, and other cars all around me, and the people that were crossing the street, and road signs, and traffic lights, and the lines, and a lot of other things. And I was thinking, how on earth can I control all of these things at the same time? And honestly, for a moment, I thought about giving up and going back home because I was terrified. Do you know why I was so terrified? Well, I was terrified because I didn't know anything about driving. I was so terrified because I was at the first stage of the mastery and competence process. Psychologists call this stage the conscious incompetence stage. It means that when you are in this stage, you are incompetent. In other words, you don't have the necessary skills and you don't know what to do. And as a result, you need to be conscious and you need to pay attention in order to learn the necessary things that you need to learn. That's why they call this stage the conscious incompetence stage. You are incompetent and because of that, you need to be conscious and you need to learn the necessary things. In my story, I didn't know how to drive a car. I was incompetent and because of that I needed to be conscious and I needed to pay attention and learn the necessary skills that I needed to drive a car. It took about 2 months for me to learn the necessary skills to drive a car. But even after that, I still needed to be conscious and I still needed to think about everything that I wanted to do. For example, when I wanted to shift a gear, I was thinking that, okay, now I need to free the gas pedal and push the clutch pedal, and now I need to shift the gear, and now I have to free the clutch pedal and push the gas pedal slowly, and so on. I knew how to do these things, but I needed to think about them and pay attention to them and do them consciously because I was at the second stage of the competence process. Psychologists call this stage the conscious competence stage. It means that when you are at this stage, you are competent, you have the necessary skills and you know what to do, but you still need to be conscious and pay attention, and you need to think about everything that you want to do. At this stage, you will make a lot of mistakes and you will fail a lot of times. For example, in my story, I made a lot of mistakes when I was at the second stage. I had a few accidents, I hit the wall a few times, I hit the doors a few times, and I hit other cars a few times. But after each mistake, I was trying to learn something and I was trying to avoid making the same mistake again. And after about 1 year of consistent practice and trial and failure and learning, I finally became a very confident and competent driver, and I moved to the final stage. Psychologists call this stage the unconscious competence stage. It means that when you are at this stage, you are a master. You are competent and confident, and you have all the necessary skills, and you don't need to think about the details anymore. For example, in my story, after 1 year, I didn't think about shifting the gear anymore. I was just doing it automatically and unconsciously because I was at the final stage. I was at the mastery stage. You see, learning is not enough, and if you want to master something, if you want to become confident and competent at doing something, you absolutely need to move through all these 3 stages. And there is only one way to do that. And that way is taking MS action. Let's take a look at the confidence-competence loop again. When you start doing something, you are here in this area. Your confidence and competence level are both at 0, right? This is where the process begins. After that, you start learning and both your confidence and your competence levels grow slowly. But after learning a few things, you arrive here and your confidence level grows unrealistically. This part represents the first stage, the conscious incompetence stage. As we talked before, you need to escape and get out of this area as soon as possible, because this area is for losers, not for real confident people. We don't want fake confidence, we want real and productive confidence. And the only way to get and gain that real confidence is to take MS action. M stands for massive. So you need to take massive action. Massive action means taking action over and over and over again, right? But without S, massive action is useless. S stands for smart. So you need to take massive and smart action. When you take massive action, you will absolutely make mistakes and you will absolutely fail, right? And if you are not smart, you will repeat the same mistakes and you will fail because of the same reasons, right? But when you are smart and when you take a smart action, after each action that you take, you try to learn from that action and use those lessons to take better and more effective actions. And by doing this, by taking MS action, by taking massive and smart action, you will destroy fake confidence and you will gain real confidence. As you see in this graph, the real confidence has ups and downs. These ups and downs represent the second stage, the conscious competence stage. When you are at this stage and when you make some kind of mistake and when you experience some kind of failure, your confidence level goes down. But because you are smart, you learn from that mistake and that failure and use that lesson in your next action. And because of that, the next time you take a better and more effective action and you get better results, which increases your confidence and your competence level, right? And if you take MS action on a consistent basis, you will move to the final stage, the mastery stage or the unconscious competence stage. And when you arrive there, you will become a real master. You will do everything easily without thinking, right? Well, of course, you will make some kind of mistakes and you will fail again, but in most cases, you will succeed. Now, you are taking this course because you want to be confident, right? So far, you were in the first stage, but now it is time to move to the second stage. It is time to gain real and productive confidence by taking MS action, by taking massive and smart action. So I want you to take a look at the awareness exercise one more time. You already answered these 5 questions, right? If you didn't, you need to answer them right now. And after that, I want you to look at the 3rd question. What is the best way to achieve your goal? In other words, what are the main steps or the main actions that you need to take in order to achieve your goal? I want you to think about your goal and write down 3 actions. Then I want you to write down when you are going to take those actions. But remember, the timing for the first action must be right now, and the timing for the second and the 3rd action must be as soon as possible. So if you really want to gain real confidence, if you really want to be productive and confident and competent, I want you to do this exercise right now and take your first action towards your goal right now. Hey my friend, thank you for watching. If you liked this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to this channel to get other free videos and take one step towards living a better life.